Hello, just discovered a video from the current prime minister in the UK, and I think most of you will find it rather alarming, especially if you're someone who believes in privacy, freedom, liberty, free market capitalism, basically your ability to decide how you want to spend your money. And I found when Liz Truss resigned from her post. She was in office for about 44 days or so. It seemed bizarre to me. Now I get it. I get it. The long end of their yield curve blew up and the pension fund blow up because of her plan. But the way the media attacked her right from the very beginning, it just seemed off to me. And she is supposedly conservative, and this new guy, Rishi, is supposedly conservative. Why has the media not attacked him? I mean, can you honestly say that they hated her and they absolutely love him just because she came out with a plan that was supposed to increase spending and reduce taxes? It seemed off to me. And she was the shortest lived PM in UK history. So now let's go back in time about a year and look at this YouTube video that was posted by the current prime minister of the UK, who, again, may have got there in a way that seems highly suspicious to me. And I have no proof of this, but it sure does seem like the powers that be, maybe the Klaus, the puppeteer, saw Liz and he's like, no, Liz isn't going to make it happen. We need to make this central bank digital currency thing happen. We need her out ASAP. Media, run with this story, crucify her, do everything that you need to do to get her out of there, because we need this Rishi guy in there, because he's the one that's going to promote our, not just our narrative, but what is going to help us inevitably achieve our objective. Call me a tinfoil hatter. I have no proof of this, complete speculation, but kind of when you're connecting the dots, to me, that would be my base case. But I'll let you be the judge. So let's check out this video.
To say that under the UK's presidency, the group of the world...
Whoops. I always listen to things on double speed.
7 most advanced economies, the G7, is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside physical notes and coins. Unlike most of the digital money people use daily today, it would be issued directly by a central bank, like the Bank of England in the UK.
Well, you sure can't tell he's reading that off a script, can you? You can literally see his eyes move from left to right.
That's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
I mean, could this be any faker? I mean, any more fake or any more artificial? Give me a break.
And governments and central banks across the world are working together, looking into what having a digital currency might mean in practice. This includes issues that people care about, such as ensuring users' money would be safe and secure, that it could work with other ways to pay, would be energy efficient and available to everyone. A potential CBDC could offer businesses and consumers new ways to pay in the future. It's all part of the wider story of digital innovation that has delivered benefits to millions around the world and in the UK. The decision on whether to launch a central bank digital currency is for each country to make, and no G7 jurisdiction has yet made that choice. These decisions raise important questions about the reshaping of our economy, financial systems, and the way in which people interact with money and payments. That's why working together and careful evaluation with our international partners is essential. In the UK, earlier this year, I announced a new joint task force between the Treasury and the Bank of England to look into a potential CBDC.
So I didn't know that. I knew that he was in favor of central bank digital currencies, or he had made reference to that prior to becoming prime minister. And I don't know the way it works in the UK. Maybe you guys could tell me in the comments and in the chat, but I don't think he went through an election process. I think basically she resigned and he just happened to be the next guy. Or actually, I think it was him and maybe another two other people. And those two other people just basically took their name out of the hat. So he was the only one left, which again is very, very suspicious to me. But what I didn't know is prior to him becoming the PM, not only was he favorable to these central bank digital currencies, but he actually set up a task force to pursue or explore the idea of a central bank digital currency with their treasury and the Bank of England. Liz Truss gets elected. She's out 44 days later. And this guy just happens to fill her role. Come on.
A potential CBDC as a complement to cash and bank deposits. We're also hearing from firms, technology experts, and others. Under the leadership of the UK, this report today will help support and inform exploration of CBDCs in the G7 and beyond. With these principles, the G7 is leading an important step change in the global policy conversation. The report covers a range of important matters, such as financial stability, cyber resilience, energy efficiency, privacy, inclusion, and tackling illicit finance.
That is just, I mean, are you going to tell me Klaus didn't write that script? I mean, how these people think that the general public that's watching this is just stupid. Look at, I mean, the inclusion. Who says inclusion in every other word in a speech? I mean, it's not just Klaus. It's pretty much all the speakers at the World Economic Forum. Inclusion, everything has to be inclusive. And I mean, again, everything he's saying, it sounds like a speech that Klaus would give. Cyber resilience, energy efficiency. You know what energy efficiency means? That's a dig on Bitcoin. That's a specific dig on Bitcoin right there. Privacy, and then inclusion. And this is always the way they sell the central bank digital currency. Like there's so many people unbanked and that are just using currency right now, that are just using banknotes. And somehow, if they could just not use those banknotes and they could just use a central bank digital currency, well, their lives would just magically improve exponentially. It's just ridiculous. They really take us for fools. That's the bottom line.
Energy efficiency, privacy, inclusion, and tackling illicit finance. These factors should all be considered when designing and potentially delivering a CBDC that would be fit for the future. Our shared objective is to ensure that CBDCs would be grounded in long-standing commitments to transparency, the rule of law, and sound economic governance. The G7 will continue its work in this important area, working with others to enhance understanding and use of these principles. We're excited to be taking a leading role with G7 members in publishing this exploratory work, bringing money and finance into the 21st century.
Actually, you're bringing money and finance into 1984 is what you're doing there, Rishi. I mean, what a puppet. And give me a break. And who knows? I mean, maybe I'm way off. Maybe you guys have a completely different opinion. And I'm open. I want to keep an open mind. I'd love it if the guy actually had some original ideas. But how do you trust a person that's just that is just reading off of a script, and it's just so obvious? He didn't think of one word that he just said. So how do you trust that person? How do you know what his authentic view is if he's just sitting there. I mean, imagine, Josh, if I did that on every video. If I just came out here and said, hello, fellow rebel capitalists. I hope you are having a great day. Breaking news. The central bank digital currency is out. The UK has plans that are going to change our lives. You know, I mean, come on. And then, of course, they turn the comments off, which you would expect from any entity that was encouraging transparency, right? That's another thing that's so ironic, is they're sitting here talking about inclusion and transparency and privacy and all of these things that we need to do to relate to the average Joe and Jane. But there's no way we can turn our comment section on. That's for sure. Jeez, I wouldn't trust this guy as far as I could throw him. And that's pretty much the bottom line. And this is where I get the title of the video and why I'm saying that I think maybe the first country or sovereign in the West to adopt a digital central bank digital currency could be the UK, or most likely will be the UK, because obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but in my opinion, it's crystal clear that this guy is just a puppet of who, I'll let you be the judge, but he's simply a puppet to advance this policy in the UK. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. As always, make sure that you're standing up for free. Actually, Josh, let me do it this way. As always, guys, have a great afternoon, and make sure you are standing up for freedom, liberty, and free market capitalism. I will see you on the next video.